Hey, gang. As usual, I'm getting caught up. There we go. That one. Oh, I need a producer. There we go. It's Pizza Friday. 188 Yergs, and you can get Tan Talks logging in today. We're not signed up with them. Well, there they are. I had to plug my phone back in because it was with my bed all night. It wasn't charged up. So, Pizza Friday, I am paying up on my debts, as I always do, one way or another. Trying to figure out some other things here. Give me a second. I'm still learning a lot of these different platforms that we're on, and that doesn't help. 99.1 WDJY, America One Radio, the UG.media on the XL channel today with them. Mastiff Media channels, Yergs Radio, Rainbow Radio, and Tan Talk actually signed on. We're not renewed with them yet. So I'm wondering what they're thinking, but I wasn't expecting them to be here today. But we'll talk with them in the chat and get going. So our new segments that we're doing each day: tracking Trump, monitoring MAGA, watching Wokies, and of course today, pizza. I can actually, let me see something else here. There we go. Now I actually look like I almost know what I'm doing. 11:05. We're going to see if, so yeah, TAN's, I'm happy to see them logging in today, but I wasn't expecting it because we're not renewed. Our contract's up, and I've been busier than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest trying to get a bunch of other things. And even though that's a huge priority, it's just I didn't get a chance to send her our proposal, that what we want to do. We got their offer, but I'm going to counter it because, okay, well, there's that one then. Welcome to everybody on WTAN. Today is Pizza Friday for Up the Middle. You could be eating a pizza today, courtesy of everybody here at Mastiff Media and Yergs Radio, Rainbow Radio, WTAN, because they're broadcasting today. Our contract's actually up with them, and they're here anyway. So that's awesome, because not every station does that. Let's bring out the guys for who we got so far. On the right, Blake Fisher. You got your monitor up? Is that?
Oh yeah.
And also on the right, we're going to squeeze in.
Oh hey, I didn't know we were talking to you today.
Philip Blackett from our Wednesday show, Translating Trump.
I aim to please.
Love it.
He's our resident Trump supporter, and helps explain life. Is Matt waiting at the door for his pizza, or what?
Hope not. It's not gonna be there for an hour. Hopefully he's not waiting.
Yeah. So I that's what took me so long today. I'm ordering 3 pizzas at a time.
And all you have to do is win a bet with Yergs to get pizza for lunch on Friday. Yeah. That's it.
In lieu of Philip's pizza, I am dropping some coin at, I'll put this up too, for those on video. Dropping some coin at philipblackett.com. or no, buyblacket.com. Buyblacket, B-U-Y, blacket.com/Yergs. And that's where I'm going to be shopping later today.
Thank you, sir. The gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah. I thought I could switch corners with that QR code. But the QR code in the screen, for those of you watching, that would be on Discord, Chatter, the well, yeah, we're sending video out on Chatter. So hopefully that QR code is big enough if you're watching on your phone. And of course, all of our social media platforms. If you are on the radio or on whatever the social audio only, you can go to buy Blackett, BLACKETT.com/Yergs and just see all of Phil's really cool merch. And I think I would call it bipartisan. It really is. I don't think it's huge MAGA so much as it is really just a patriotic and positive and really fits on Yergs Radio. So happy to have him. He's here every Wednesday with me. He was here today because I was also going to get him pizza too. But then he said, no, spend your money there. I'm like, okay. So you didn't have to, if you got to split early for the wife lunch date, that's fine. When you said that, I wasn't going to expect you to show up then today.
I mean, I'd love hanging out with you guys. So why not?
Yeah.
Talk about it too, man. It's been quite a week.
Yeah.
I think I hear a beep. I do feel like Mr. Rogers. Who's at the door, kids?
It's still the best kid show ever made, right? I mean, do we agree? Is it just because it's from our generation, or
he's from my state?
Mr. Rogers, best ever.
Fred Rogers was from Pittsburgh.
What's up, gents?
What's up, Matt?
Matt,
you're joining from the from Daily Crypto News. So for pizza deliveries, I didn't have your phone numbers, or I didn't have them handy if I ever did get your phone numbers, and so I just put my phone number in. So if they got a call to be let in anywhere, Matt
we'll take over the show.
Like a single family townhouse type of place. That's a good question. I can I can go into the settings and let everybody do that. There we go.
Yeah, they don't want to confuse us, right, Phil?
Yeah.
We all look the same, right? Is that what you're trying to say?
Not at all, man. Not at all.
MAGA.
That would be funny if you accidentally put MAGA instead of Matt on.
That'd be great. MAGA Matt, MAGA Phil. I think that's what we just changed all our names to MAGA. TDS Yergs.
Earlier this week,
maybe we'll have to.
MAGA Matt went a little bit MAGA when Joe pardoned his son.
See, I don't think that's MAGA. I think that's just like what the normal reaction would have been if Trump didn't exist.
I kind of feel Yergs are going to be in the minority here because it was egregious.
I don't think so. I really don't.
I think we have some agreement here.
Let's get into it then, Yergs. I think you're
going to be. You're on Yerg's side.
I think we have some agreement with Matt.
Dude, I am totally not the guy on the left anymore. I don't know if you've been watching the show. Yergs in the TDS has moved so far left. He's just
Matt's now the middle guy.
Yergs.
Okay, Yergs, I feel like you should, since you're going to be outnumbered, I think you should give us your defense of Biden pardoning his son.
Let me see if I can set there we go. There I am.
I think what he also should he also should do after this episode is he should have a graph he puts on for future episodes, like a spectrum to show from left to right where each one of us is now on to see who's far left, far right, center right. That'll be interesting to see now.
I'll be like this. That way I'm over on the left of the screen. as people are watching, and you knuckleheads are over there on the right. I do got to switch this one around. I got to put Blake a little bit further right than Matt. There we go.
All right, so give us your defense, Jerks, because I mean, we talked a little bit about it on your show Monday, but
and we talked about it on Wednesday.
Curious if it's changed or if there's and like I said, this audience didn't get to hear it, so I'm curious. Like, what's the defense of pardoning for any and all crimes?
I don't remember his exact wording when he said he wasn't going to do it.
It was no.
It was. I'm not going to do it.
Is there any possibility, sir, that you're going to pardon your son? No.
Over and over again, at least a dozen times, as recently as last month, but as early as last spring, before the trial for the gun charges, which was in June, during the gun trial in June, throughout the summer, before the debate, after he dropped out. He or his press secretary has denied it over a dozen times, unequivocally. I will not do it. I will not commute his sentence. Will not pardon him.
I will say this. This might be worse than Clinton's Lewinsky denial. I think history will probably bring this up on a similar parallel.
No, because I'll tell you why. Bill Clinton knew he was fooling around with Monica Lewinsky. And for him to stand there and say, I did not have sex with that woman.
It's a decent Bill Clinton.
Was a flat out lie.
Well, he said he didn't have sexual relations. Now we got to define what actually happened versus what he said.
That's right. We got to define. It depends on what the definition of is.
Right. That was the classic thing.
That famous.
I would argue that Biden knew he was lying this whole time too, because NBC is reporting that back in June, he was kicking it around still when they were denying it, like outright, flat out denying it, instead of saying no comment or let's see what happens or anything like that. It was a flat out denial. And the whole time he knew he was considering it. So to me, that's the same kind of lie, right?
Yes and no. Yeah, it is. But I think what people forget about is that he was not expecting this current situation that we have right now to be the outcome.
For Trump to win, you mean?
Back in June, he was still running.
Yeah, but come on.
But I just saw a podcast the other day, yesterday I think it was, about how there was no backup plan at all ever. He was running for re-election. He was going to win. The end.
Yeah, but he's denied it after he dropped out of the race, and when I know he knew that Kamala was in trouble. So Trump at least looked like he could win against him or Kamala, and he was still denying it. So, and here's the thing, nothing has changed since last spring. Nothing. None of the facts of Hunter Biden's case.
That's not even close to true. Trump not even close to true.
Trump was running. There's at least a 50-50 chance.
Since last spring, Biden was the candidate. That changed.
No. I'm saying about Hunter's case. Nothing's changed.
But other circumstances have.
I don't think they have.
Biden was the candidate. That's changed. Biden thought he was going to win. That's changed. Kamala was the candidate. She thought she was going to win. All of that has changed. And now we've got an FBI director nominee who, and I'll share this right now that it's coming up and becoming incredibly relevant. Cancel, hold on. Now we've got an FBI director nominee who is saying that he is blatantly going to go after other people, such as the media, as in this case.
Oh, for sure. But do you really think Hunter Biden's on that list now? I mean, what does Hunter Biden do for anyone in January?
He's at the top of that list for all the reasons you've been trash talking him for not being worthy of being on Burisma and so on and so forth.
Oh, of course.
And that's why President Biden is going through possible political enemies and considering pardoning them.
Well, I do want to talk about that in a second, but let's stick with Hunter for just one moment, because I think the Hunter thing is happened, and the rest of speculation. I do want to talk about that speculation because I think it's an interesting conversation. But here's my thing: nothing changed since.
No, I just told you 5 things that changed.
Here's what I'm saying hasn't changed. Trump was always promising to prosecute his political enemies, and Hunter included, in this whole thing. And here's my biggest problem with it. I understand the fear of Trump going after political enemies, because you're right. Like, he's said he would do it. The people he's picking for cabinet positions have said they want to do it. I get the fear of that. But if that was the reason for wanting to do this, that reason existed last June. And if that's the reason, if you're worried about future political prosecutions for weird stuff, why pardon him for the gun and the tax charges? Because that was Biden's Justice Department that did that. That wasn't a political prosecution. That was his people.
The whole thing was political.
So you think so? I just want to make sure
was political.
I want to make sure I understand this. You think that the Biden Justice Department was totally fair and not political to Trump, but was being politically persecuting the president's own son. That's the logic you think is that what's actually happening at the FBI and the Department of Justice over the last.
They had to prosecute Biden's own son, or for fear of showing favoritism.
Okay, so isn't that just like not showing favoritism then? Isn't that not being politically prosecuted? The guy didn't pay $1.4 million in taxes.
Oh,
that's a lot of money.
Yeah, no, it's not. In what is our annual budget? $5 trillion.
For an individual to not pay taxes, that's a lot of money, and he never paid them. By the way, a friend paid them.
Yours got to be the only person to say that individual taxes and compared to our GDP or budget.
I know, like, who's ever comparing individual taxes to the whole budget? Yeah, I mean, like, my point is you're minimizing what Hunter Biden did. I think that's my biggest problem.
What Hunter Biden did was wrong.
No, you wouldn't even say that on Monday, though. You were saying that, like,
I did say that on Monday.
Well, no, you were saying like, oh, all these corporations avoid taxes through loopholes. It's not the same thing, though.
All right, gents, I got
like not following.
I'm the Ed Democrat in the room, and you guys been talking about this for a while, so I got to give my opinion on this.
Yeah, go.
As a Democrat, here's what I'm dealing with. As somebody who ran for U.S. Congress, we went out there and we said Democrats have to protect democracy, and there was no primary.
Okay.
There was no primary, and Kamala was installed. We were running on that we uphold the law and we trust our institutions. We trust the legal system, and there's no lawfare. There is no bias, and Trump, and then Biden will not pardon his son. And what happens is he says that there is lawfare and bias in our judicial system and our legal system, and he pardons his son. So if you're a Democrat and you're trying to run a campaign, if you're trying to find a moral clarity or base of why you're running, and all of that is being pulled out from under you this whole time by the Democrats, it really does not give us a base not only to run on, but to even have people trust us moving forward of what we are running on and how we're going to protect the institutions that we say we're upholding, the what it means to be American, what we say we're upholding, and the institutions and the rule of law, which we say we're upholding. All of that is out the window. And look, while you can understand why Joe Biden pardoned his son, can you excuse that Joe Biden pardoned his son? And I'm going to have to say, I could understand it as a father, but can I understand it as the president of the United States? Now, look, when you take oath as president of the United States, I'm sorry, if you're reading your Twitter bio and it says father, whatever, husband, blah, 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 first before president, then you're wrong. President of the United States becomes the first thing on your Twitter bio, no matter what. And I'm sorry, everything goes out of the window to protect and uphold the United States of America, its institutions, and its rule of law, and the Constitution. And he just undermined that because he's in quotes, father. Not acceptable.
And to be fair, I just want to be totally clear. Biden has the absolute, like, nothing Joe Biden did was illegal or like we have given the president the power to pardon anyone. Right. My problem is with the sweepingness of it, because let's compare it to the other ones. Bill Clinton pardons his brother-in-law for cocaine charges that he already served the sentence for. And that was a big deal at the time. This comparatively is so much bigger because, like I said, he had already served his time. Like, he had already paid his debt to society. And I'm not saying I love it. Yeah, I'm talking about, Roger Clinton. And I don't think, but like, there's a difference between, I think that's what the pardon power was supposed to be. It was supposed to be, this, most of the other examples of the really controversial pardons that we've had in the past, had some sort of national healing element to them. Happened after the Civil War, during Reconstruction. Andrew Johnson pardoned, like the entire Confederate Army, and all and generals and things like that. It goes all the way back to George Washington and the Whiskey Rebellion. We've had these controversial pardons, but generally there is some sort of, hey, let's move past this thing, this like big national problem where we had.
And
this
you don't think this is something that we should be moving past?
Well, no, but that's where I think it gets to these other potential pardons.
I don't think we got closure.
Yeah, I don't think Hunter Biden is, though, because like I said, I would have even given him more of a pass if he would have said, I'm pardoning him for the things that Trump might go after him for, but not the crimes that he got convicted for under my Department of Justice. I think that would have been splitting the baby in half a little bit, to be like, because I get the fear of Trump's retribution.
I think we are splitting the baby in half with even this logic. Look, do we believe? Does one party believe that there is do we believe that the justice system goes after political opponents or not? And if they do, and we believe that, and everybody knows it, then we have to stop that. And if we don't believe it, then we have to uphold the law. And the second thing is just stop lying. If you're going to tell the American people you're not going to do something and then go ahead and do it, nothing's changed. Just say you're going to do it. That is the power of the president. You're okay to do that. And you could go out there and say that we think that this is going to be political retribution. And so we are going to retaliation, and we're going to, just don't lie to the American people.
Can we all agree that lying is wrong?
Lying is wrong. And it's expected
regardless of party.
Yeah,
regardless of party.
And we're going to actually move on to the next one soon. You know what's not wrong? Changing your mind.
I don't think he changed his mind. I think he was always considering it, though.
Well, maybe with the concept of pardons, it doesn't matter what you think.
Well, I think it does. If you're asked straight up what you're going to do, you can say no comment. You can say, we're not talking about that right now. We're going to let the trial play out. They didn't do any of that. There's a million answers they could have given other than flatly, no, we won't do it. Now, here's the other interesting part
of Biden putting his foot in his mouth.
Yeah. So here's two interesting points that I think are worth noting.
Crazy Uncle Joe, who puts his foot in his mouth how many times during the Obama administration? And in some cases, we, the LGBT community get to benefit from it because that's how they introduced the whole concept of gay marriage. One day, crazy Uncle Joe said, you know what, I'm for gay marriage. And then Uncle Barry said the same thing. And before you know, it's in the Supreme Court. And the White House is decorated but like rainbows. He's pardoned. It's done. There's more on the way. I agree with Blake on one thing. I would like to see Trump and company get pardoned too and put all of this past 10 years into our history.
Yeah, but I mean,
Matt almost had a heart attack.
I don't think that's who he's considering. Trump. I think the Politico report is saying he's considering pardoning like Liz Cheney and that crew, which I also think is
they're political enemies.
I know, but I don't like starting down this road. I don't like starting down that road. I don't think Liz Cheney or Mitt Romney would accept the pardon, which has a bad precedent. And I think it's a bad precedent. But here's my bigger problem with all of this.
But anything about the Trump administration is a good idea.
No, I'm not saying
there's a lot of stuff. I mean, $2 billion from Saudi Arabia. I mean, nobody's saying that this is good either. There's a lot of bad things. But
I don't think you preemptively try to prevent them from doing you don't do a bad thing to say they might do a bad thing. That's what I don't like about it.
Whataboutism cannot be the defense every time.
Yes.
What about Trump? What about Biden? No, this is not the defense. It's the Constitution of the United States of America, and we actually uphold it or we don't, our institutions or we don't.
It's not whataboutism when they blatantly say they're going to do it.
Right, but he also said he was going to lock Hillary Clinton up in his 2016 campaign. He didn't do anything to even try.
This is a letter sent by the attorneys that represent I'm brain farting now.
Mr. Patel?
Crash Patel or whatever his name is.
Cash Patel.
This is to I can't, where's it at? I keep wanting to adjust the one screen that I'm actually on, like the dashboard for there we go. This is to Olivia Troy, courtesy of her attorneys, Mark Zaid, telling that she needs to publicly apologize and recant statements that are already proven to be true.
Who's Olivia Troy?
Olivia Troy was the chief of staff for the vice president.
No. This is why I don't know who that is.
And
the vice president is warm bucket of spit and all.
She was eventually a whistleblower onto a lot of the craziness of Trump 1.0. And she's now on MSNBC, and she basically said he is not fit to be the director of the FBI.
Yeah, but is Biden going to just hand out pardons to
People
everyone
have
in the media?
been saying that on the daily. No, correction. People have been saying he's not fit to be leading the FBI every hour on the hour. And yet he goes after her. Someone he had a beef with during Trump 1.0 because of all the things he did to put Navy SEALs in jeopardy. He lied about intelligence. He lied about this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah. I mean, that's all fine. But like, are you saying that Biden
No,
should
it's not fine.
her?
This is the lawfare that you knuckleheads on the right are constantly bitching about.
I'm all for it, but I want to see it actually happen. This is all just promissory notes at this point. It hasn't happened yet.
Point of clarification here. By the looks of the screen, all of us knuckleheads are on the same side on the right now.
Knuckleheads. Yeah. None.
But I mean, but Yergs, are you saying that Biden should preemptively pardon her and everyone in the media and everyone in Congress and all these people so that Trump can't go after him? I mean, is that what you're implying should happen?
Let's talk about Trump's campaign. Has he talked about any of the issues really? Or did he spend time and millions of dollars on commercials about the trans community?
You don't have to.
That's a big threat.
I know you, but you don't have to convince me, Yergs, of any of that. I'm asking, what do you think Biden should do? Do you think Biden should preemptively pardon everyone that Trump might go after?
What choice does he have? Where do you
not
where
do
you
it?
draw
Not
the
do
line?
that. You have a choice to not do that.
Where you draw the line?
I would draw the line,
When
period.
you have someone as psychotic as Donald Trump, 40 out of 44 cabinet members refused to endorse him for 2.0.
I understand all of that.
The entire Joint Chiefs said
Got
no.
it. Yeah.
Stop the deflection.
I know. We know all that stuff.
No,
I'm asking.
there's no deflection. These are actual industry experts that say this guy isn't just a bad leader and a crappy person, that he's an actual threat to the American way of life.
I don't think that you can blanket.
Where do you draw the line when it comes time to maintain that way of life? And
Who do you feel is most at threat? That's what I would say.
Yeah, because okay,
If you're going to draw the line, I'm not saying I endorse this. I will look at it in the sense of who do you feel is most at threat to what Yergs is fearful of, and if it is your son, and you say, "Hey, I'm going to have this pardon last as long as it did, 10, 11 years, all encompassing," then that's when you say, "Okay, listen, this is the one I feel like is most at threat. He's closest to me. I'm gonna protect my own before anybody else." But then I draw the line there. But once you get to the point of saying, "Hey, slippery slope," like Blake is saying, I set the precedent. This is what presidents do when they come in office. Everyone that they think could be retributed and that sort of thing. Now this gets back to what Matt is saying before. Does this make a mockery of our democracy now? It's like now this is now the given that when people come into office out of fear, we're going to turn in a laundry list of pardons for anybody that possibly might have said or done or acted any way, shape, or form that could get somebody in trouble with the next administration.
Yeah,
that I think is a huge issue.
And he already broke that line with Hunter. So the problem now is that it only looks like nepotism if he doesn't give Liz Cheney and Mitt Romney and every Democrat in Congress and every Republican in Congress. I mean, and the problem is he's going to pardon someone that did a crime. Like that's the real problem here is that there's no way in that net it wouldn't get caught up. Someone could have literally.
What crime did Liz Cheney commit by sitting on the January 6th committee?
I'm not saying she did, but I'm saying if you start going down that line.
You don't think that Trump's not going to go after her?
The problem is, no, I do think he might, but he might not. Like he might be all bluster. He'd said all this in the last campaign too, and then he didn't follow through with it. Now that might have been because he had people that told him no. We don't know that yet, but I think you have to let that play out. I do not think you can preemptively make a bad decision.
Okay,
threaten the Republic.
We let that play out. We let that play out, and then what?
Do you really
goes after them? Biden's gone. There's no pardons coming in January 22nd.
You've got Congress, you've got the courts, you've got all sorts of other institutions.
Where was Congress and the courts now when Biden was supposedly so lawfare full?
Well, I mean, the Senate just rejected one of his nominees. So they're not just bending over for Trump. They're not bending the knee to him. Gates is already out because of the Senate going, this is a bad idea. So they're not just doing whatever Trump says. And I don't think that I just
saw betting averages. Patel is 66% chance of becoming the next FBI director. Is that who you want running the FBI? Yes or no?
Of course not. I don't want Trump in the White House, but that doesn't matter. He won the election. I think for the most part, unless someone disqualifies themselves with, like, I think that Tulsi Gabbard, for example, I think her Russian stuff is going to have trouble with the intelligence thing. But I think for the most part, I don't think I would pick them to run those agencies for sure. But I think you give the president the cabinet he wants and let him hang himself with the noose he's creating by picking these people that are going to be absolutely terrible at the job. And they're going to be fired quickly, probably, because it's not going to work.
Yeah, and then who comes in? All right, 99.1 WDJY.
While you're taking this commercial break, can you go close your microwave door, please? It's driving me crazy.
Oh, yeah. That was the coffee from earlier. 99.1 WDJY, 1490. I know, they're gone. The Tan Talk number, WTAN, WDCF, and everybody at the Mastiff Media Network. We'll be back with pizza and assassinations after this. I'm Yergs from Up the Middle. I've finally begun to reach out to my own listeners with Constant Contact. Use both my link and promo code CyberWeek24 and get 40% off your first 3 months. 40%! But more importantly, you'll have all the same benefits and tools that I do. All the same templates, and all of the same success. So get my Constant Contact link, where you get all of my links, by going to yergs.com. You still have time to reach out to your contacts in time for the holidays. Go to yergs.com, click on my Constant Contact link, and use promo code CyberWeek24 for 40% off. Remember, you need both my link and the promo code CyberWeek24. Yergs and Constant Contact. We deliver success. Hey gang, it's Yergs. Do you have a podcast? Of course you do. It's probably one of the reasons why you listen to us. Well, I got something for you. Flowsend.ai. All you do is take your pre-recorded data, click, drag, and drop right into the inbox for Flowsend AI. Click a button, and out comes everything that you're going to need. From the transcript to content, such as keywords, titles for your episode, the timeline, posts for LinkedIn, posts for Twitter, Instagram, other smaller platforms, all the things that it takes you hours to do in literally minutes. So go to flowsend.ai. Tell them Yerg sent you and get your subscription today. Worth every penny. Flowsend.ai. Not a bad transition. That was actually oh, there you are. Hey, go back there. Momentum, fitness and wellness. This afternoon, I'm definitely getting a workout in. I need to work out some stress, and I'm going to be doing that and building some momentum. Finally, getting back in the gym. I feel so much better. Momentum, fitness and wellness on US 19 in Jasmine Estates and Bayonet Point. Right by the Arby's. Don't stop at the Arby's. Sorry, Arby's, but get an upset stomach from your stuff there, especially that place. But there, the U-Haul, you'll see them right there on the right in Jasmine Estates and Bayonet Point. I will say brand new facility, but lots of brand new things at the facility. There's some more space. They bought out the contract, the lease of a business that was next door, and now they're in there. There's a dedicated stretching area now. They've got one of those plunge tanks where you can like cold plunge. Oh, no, it's cold enough right now. It's all about 68 degrees right now outside, so it's cold enough for Florida. But they got a cold plunge tank, sauna, that I like, and outdoor area for CrossFit, updated and repaired and better equipment, you name it. You can just go right up to the door, QR code right on the door, scan it, set up your membership, and enter. It's that easy. Or go talk to Anthony. Like I said, that's my guy. We all got a guy. And Anthony's mine at Momentum Fitness and Wellness, Bayonet Point. All right. Bring you guys. So up next, this past Wednesday was, I mean, wow. If I have video of it, I've been debating if I wanted to show the whole thing here, and I think you can just go on. Best place to find the entire video is to go on Twitter, search it. Somebody's going to have it playing. I don't know how this copy, but you can tell this copy of the full thing is somebody holding their phone up to a monitor, and they're playing the entire security footage. And as the guy leaves, after shooting the guy, as the assassin leaves and crosses the street, he just walks, I'll say walks with purpose. He doesn't run like there's an emergency, but the guy filming the screen follows him with his camera across the monitor. So you see the edges of the monitor in the video and so on. And this is the one that's circulating all over the place. I think that's one of the other things we were talking about, you and I, Philip, on Wednesday after we broke it for the first time on Mastiff Media Network, is that so much of this stuff within the NYPD that you probably don't want getting out yet gets out.
Yeah, there's always leaks in these things. I mean, especially something as sensational as someone murdering a CEO with a gun with a silencer on it. I mean,
that wasn't just murder. That was, and I was in a bunch of rooms on Chatter since then where they asked my Secret Service background opinion and so on. I'm like, when I saw that whole video, I'm like, wow, where are the cameras? I don't mean the cameras, the security cameras that were capturing it. I mean, like, that looked like it was a movie set.
Yeah, I mean, literally dressed like Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, he followed the script.
Sounds like a movie.
Thing. And the thing about that was, I compared it to the Butler, Pennsylvania attempt on Trump. And it was a hard thing to have to say, but an honest thing. We did not look that good in Butler, Pennsylvania. One of the shift agents drew her weapon. One of the reasons why we keep our
we remember her.
Yeah. Well, one of the reasons why we keep our back to the protectee is because we know where he or she is. We got to see everything else. And when something like that happens, the first thing that they should have done was gone hands on him, not their weapon. And yet this guy has not one, but two jams that he has to clear. And he does it. And he just keeps casually walking towards his target, clears it, racks another round, and boom.
So I have to stop there. From what I hear, and maybe everybody could clarify this, is that the gun wasn't jamming, is that they were low projectile bullets, so they were subsonic, so they were quieter. So the actual kick couldn't even actually kick it back. So it wasn't jamming. He was actually clearing it and then loading the round. And so that's why the rounds that went into the body were the ones with the words on it. So he was able to shoot, then clear, load the next one, and then put it in there because they were low subsonic projectiles to be quieter.
Correct. But
which would we know that though? If he, we would only know that with the even the casings wouldn't say, right? I mean, they're not
Yeah,
going to say how much powder
here's
was
the
in
deal
there.
with all that. The weapon was, I think it's called a well rod. It's built for assassins. It's built for low suppression. It's built to compress the gas so that it's suppressed, as opposed to hearing the bang.
Right. So it's subsonic ammunition plus the silencer, which silencers.
The other thing is one of the ways it does that is it's single action. So you can't bang, 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 bang. It doesn't. It's not semi-automatic.
Well, it's got to be semi-automatic. I mean, it's got to.
No,
really.
It's bolt action. Every round had to be chambered. That's what Matt's talking about. Every round had to be chambered.
I mean, I don't know if that's confirmed either. But anyway, long story short,
I'm telling you, it's confirmed. That's
confirmed. Then why did you say something different earlier? You said that the gun got jammed.
It did and that's the only reason why he's not going to expel a round and let that fall to the ground. He needs to shoot that. The only thing he wants to shoot out is the spent casing that's still in the chamber.
Right, but if it was subsonic, that's what you'd be doing, right? If you're racking it, which means it is semi-automatic. It's just that
it's not a semi-automatic weapon cycles a new round by itself.
Not if the explosion is not big enough to push the rack
That's
back.
the point. And this weapon doesn't allow for that. It doesn't have the spring on it.
Well, but then how does he pull it back? I mean, if he pulls it back and it goes forward on its own, it has to have the spring in it. I don't know enough about this specific weapon, obviously. I mean,
stop talking.
Well, I know, but like, I'm just saying. What I'm asking, what would why if he pulls it back and it racks forward, the spring is there, right?
There is a spring on it because that's what's going to hold it forward.
Because it's not an old revolver where you have to cock the actual hammer back. Like that would be different, obviously. And I would obviously that'd be smarter. Then there's no shell casings to leave behind. But
okay, this is essentially what he used.
Not that I'm an assassin, by the way, just to clear the air.
Do you play one
so I'm reading about the gun. Yeah, you're right. It looks like it's a bolt action, and he had to clear every single round. Exactly.
Okay.
And yeah, it's a bolt action. I've been saying that.
I've never seen this gun in my life.
Well, I mean, you're not an assassin.
Every
and if
movie,
you have, I'm curious.
Every movie you've ever seen where there's been an assassin or hitman, that's what they're using.
Collateral damage.
Because in the movie, they always screw the suppressor on. They have to have the scene where they're screwing the suppressor on.
Because that is what's called a threaded barrel. The barrel sticks out the front of the slide, and it's got threads on it to have something like that screwed on top of it. But
like, how many of these guns are around? I mean,
this particular model, not a lot.
That's a really good point. Right. I bet you they could track this very easily.
Less than 50.
Yeah, I mean, that seems...
Phil, do you have one of these? I think Phil has one of these.
No, sir.
I mean, this is one of the more wild stories I've seen in a while, because you like when it first breaks, I think, oh, mugging, I mean, like New York's had some crime problems lately, especially subways and stuff like that. Oh, so that's a different one, right? Than the one.
This is close enough.
Okay.
And the top of it is what he's pulling back, I believe, if this is the right one. But you're not talking about bad boys, Will Smith and whatever, firing off 20 rounds and popping in a new magazine. Yeah. And what happened was when this are you actually seeing you're not seeing that, are you?
Yeah, we're seeing the screen. Yeah.
No, I was wondering to see do you see the arrow now, the cursor?
Mm-hmm.
This is the slide here. And for those on radio, I'm just pointing to a small lever on the top of the gun. What happens is this is the chamber area inside the barrel right there. The bullet's sitting there. It's fired. The casing stays there. It doesn't eject out of the top automatically like a semi-automatic weapon.
So what were the words written on the bullets themselves?
He's got to pull this back. Cartridge? Well, hold on a second. He's got to pull this back. That's what ejects the casing.
Oh, okay, it does eject the casing.
Another one up from the magazine underneath it and feeds it in.
Okay.
But depending on the magazine, depending on his own guided actions, another round came out the top. He did not want to do that. He did not want that to happen, but it did.
Yeah.
And that's my point. He kept on walking forward anyway, processed, cycled a new round. 2 full rounds, two full unspent rounds were found on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And I believe that is what they're saying had those 3 words on it.
Right.
Delay,
which
deny,
which
and
actually
defend.
gives it more of a level of professionalism, because everybody's saying, "Oh, it jammed." It didn't jam.
I don't think it does.
He was. This was purposeful and intentful.
Yeah, but here's my question about that. 2 things. This gun, if he bought it legally, he'd have to have the federal license to have a suppressor, right?
And that's my point as being pro Second Amendment, is that guns like this were never purchased legally.
Oh, that's not true.
This guy does not have an FFL. He does
Probably
not
not.
have a license
Yeah, and
for
this
a
guy-
silencer. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
But they're not never.
When guns like this are used in crime, when guns like this are used in a crime, they're not usually they're not
Oh,
purchased
yeah,
legally.
you're right. Yeah, when it's used in a crime, you're right. It's almost always stolen. It's always illegally purchased. So I'm here's the thing. I actually don't. I've read a couple things about this. I think first of all, hitmen are not the things we think they are in the movie, where you can just hire a guy to kill someone. I mean, this.
they're
I don't
not
know. You
yellow-
asked Boeing.
So you know,
They obviously got somebody on payroll.
there's obviously like drug cartels and things like that have people within their organizations that kill people, but it's not like you can just like disgruntled wife can go like hire someone to kill their husband kind of thing. Like that's kind of a movie fictitious thing. But like you're right, the suppressor and this weird gun that I've literally never seen, and I like guns a lot. I feel like I've seen a lot of different guns and know a lot about them, but I've never seen this thing in my life. And I mean, Eric Adams, the mayor of New York, was like, "We've literally not seen a crime with a suppressor." I mean, everyone calls them silencers, which drives me crazy because they're really suppressors. They're not silenced. They don't make it go.
Yeah,
it's not a real thing. Maybe if you use lighter
Tomato,
loads,
tomato,
it is.
Blake. Everybody knows what you're talking about. Come on.
Well, it makes a difference because people think that. I mean, if you want to go to the Second Amendment, though, I think they should be more legal and more accessible because they protect hearing. I mean, that's like, you know, they take the decibel level down by 30 decibels or something. It's pretty significant.
Well, so does Apple AirPods. Should we just make a regulation that everybody has to wear noise canceling AirPods when they shoot?
Here's my biggest problem with this whole story, though, is the reaction to it. Going back to the pardon kind of thing, I think these 2 things are related. You look at the reaction to this shooting and people are cheering for it. They are like, yes, justice, blah, 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 because they don't like this guy because he's a CEO of a health insurance company. And I think that it's pretty clear.
Health insurance company.
What?
He's being investigated by the Justice Department.
Yeah,
and allegations that
right.
he was going to talk, and that's one of the theories.
Okay.
And then there's these writings on there's these writings on the bullets, which are the same as the title of a 2010, I think, book.
Yeah, one word's different, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But details the how to beat the insurance companies.
Yeah.
This is what we were talking about before. Let me transition into something before we lose Tan Talk and DJY. This photo, and again, for those listening on the radio, they will be in the show notes available at yergs.com. These are the most updated photos of the assassin, allegedly. And I say allegedly.
I don't know if you've been seeing these photos really quick, but these photos are not matching. The face structure, the clothing. Exactly. It's absolutely crazy. They're setting somebody up.
Yeah.
Forget about the fact that the jackets aren't different. The one on the right is him checking into the hostel, if that's him checking into the hostel. The one on the left is taken from the Starbucks moments before the shooting.
Right. So they could be different. I mean, like they could be the same.
Well, forget about the jackets. He's changed clothes. Yeah. Even if, and I'll talk about that in a second too. But the nose on this guy and the other guy, they're right aside of each other. They're not the same.
I don't know. They're 2 different angles. I can't tell from this.
No way. The guy on the right has bushy eyebrows. The guy on the left does not.
We can't see his eyebrows on the left.
Exactly my point. They're not there.
Well,
There's
I mean,
this whole
it's covered by a hood.
There's this whole forehead.
dude, I can literally not see where his eyebrows should be.
I spent the past 30 years looking at photos like this. These two aren't even close. Right there, this area of his forehead is not protruding. This thing looks like a bumper.
I think it's too.
That bone above his eyes there on the actual assassin is very protruding. I got pizza, so you guys discuss this for a minute.
So here's my problem with the reaction to it, though, is like I think it's pretty clear that Americans are fine with mob justice. We are getting more okay with like totally bypassing courts. We're totally bypassing any kind of legal kind of things. People are cheering on that this guy assassinated someone, and just like people are cheering on that Joe Biden pardoned his son or that Trump is going to go after people. I think that it's pretty clear that like we've got a problem. It's not just our leaders that we've got a problem with. Like for any American to cheer on someone getting assassinated, to me, is crazy. Like it really. Like it disturbs me greatly because it's pretty clear that people are like, as long as you're the enemy of me, and by the way, enemy means you run a company that I just don't like, like you're okay to get assassinated in the street, and that's like the reaction.
I'm not saying I was at no point was I ever saying.
No, you're not, but people are like people on the internet are going wild for this. They're celebrating. They are, and I just think that that's the indication that they're okay with people like Joe Biden and Trump abusing powers and abusing justice systems and going outside the law as long as it's to their enemies. And I just think that's a really dangerous path to go down as Americans. And I think it's pretty clear that more than half the country was okay with electing a guy that was promising to do those things. And so clearly we are kind of post-liberal. People do not trust the court systems. I think the problem is that like normal average people think, oh, if you're rich or well-connected, you get a different level of justice than people that aren't. And I think there's absolutely, that's fair. I think that is pretty well documented that happens. But I don't think the right way to fix that problem is to say we should start assassinating people in the street that we don't like.
No.
But that to me is the path that we're going down, and
also,
no one is trying to stop that.
Can we agree that murder is wrong, regardless of political party as well?
We can, but I'm not sure that the American people believe that.
And on either side. But my whole point about these photos is that this is not the same person. It's not even close.
It doesn't even look like it.
See, I'm not going that far yet because it's two different angles. We can't even see the guy's forehead in the other one.
The coats look different colors.
Forget about coats are different.
They're two different days. They're not the same day, so they can be in different clothes.
Here's the other issue with that I got to get out before we lose Tan Talk and DJY. This guy on the right, or excuse me, this guy on the left, the actual assassin, used a gun with a suppressor that cost $950. He was wearing shoes that cost $1,050. He was wearing a backpack that costs $350.
Yeah, allegedly he was dripped out. We get it. We get that. Yeah.
And a hoodie that was $400. People like that do not stay in hostels.
Well, you stay in a hostel because it's maybe less likely to. I've stayed in a hostel and I have shoes that cost $300. So I don't know. I think you're making too many assumptions. Like he might have stayed in a hostel because he thought it was conveniently located or something. We don't know anything about.
Before we lose everybody really quick, I want to address Ken. Ken is commenting over here. And he said people are upset with how the medical insurance companies are abusing their powers. Example, look what Blue Cross Blue Shield was doing and why they withdraw their plans. And what he's referring to there is Blue Cross and Blue Shield saying that they're not going to cover anesthetic for the duration of longer surgeries. And look, and say what?
That was repealed. They changed their
mind.
I
know that was repealed. That's what he just said, and that's what I just read. It was repealed, but it was that they were going to do that. It was repealed because of all the backlash people were having. Here's the thing, though. I think it's unfair for the conversation to acknowledge that yes, going around shooting people is wrong, while not at the simultaneously acknowledging the reason why people are actually kind of applauding this to say that our healthcare is messed up. and that these insurance companies have been screwing over people for a very long time with no repercussions besides getting upside to their profits. And we're talking about the United Healthcare having a $63 billion profit margin, and he got paid $23 million a year.
No.
Look, I don't care if people are rich.
Profit margin really was?
Look, just give me a second, Blake. Just give me a second. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Give me a second.
Finish up because I got to finish up.
Fine. Let's just say if it wasn't that much, Blake. Let's just say if it was $1 billion. It doesn't matter. If it was $6 billion, it doesn't matter, Blake.
6%.
Yeah.
Fine. It was 6% of a $2 trillion industry.
We'll continue this in the next hour. If you want to join us in that hour, switch over to Yergz, YERGZ, radio.com, or go to mastiff.media and find out all the different places you can get us in audio or video or wherever you want to be. Go to yergz.com also and support all of we got some new affiliates as well, such as Capital One, Chase, and Constant Contact, who you heard a promo for a little bit earlier. They're all available. Buyblacket.com is one, /Yergz. Don't forget that part. For Constant Contact, you need my link and the promo code CyberWeek24, all available at yergz.com. So we'll be back hopefully next week, fully on WTAN. What I'm looking to do is actually get 2 hours on the Tan Talk Network on Friday, and also add the show Philip and I do on Wednesday called Up the Middle, Translating Trump. So look forward to that. If not in the next couple of weeks, definitely in the new year. That's kind of the thing I've been with all the stations who expired this past month, is to start back in January with Wednesday and Friday, both hours on Friday. With WDJY, we are already Monday through Friday, as with the America One radio network, also in Atlanta. The UG.media is with us today, and I think they're with us the second hour as well. Every Friday, you can hear. No, it's just this 1 hour. It's this hour, and you can hear this hour again in London on Tuesday at, I think it's 2 p.m. local time. So there went WDJY. I just heard the ding in my headphones, and we're going to lose the Tan Talk Network in a few seconds.
FYI, I just wanted you to know that Nancy Pelosi's portfolio just hit an all-time high of $271 million.
We're going to talk about that too. And I'll tell you why. One of the things that she invested in, which, by the way, has everything to do with the assassination we've been talking about since Wednesday. And we'll come to that in the second hour. I don't know if I think it's going to be part of the Watching Wokies segment that we still didn't get to. So 99.1 WDJY, the Tan Talk Network, WTAN, WDCF. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Hope to see you in the second hour. We'll be back after this.
After what, Yergz? After what? Come on.
There we go. Hey, gang. Does your house smell nasty? Do you want to freshen it up a little bit? Go to aromabypeter.com. Check out all of Peter's candles. It's what we burn here in Studio Yergz. I'm burning right now leather-scented candle. That's right, leather-scented. So go to aromabypeter.com/Yergz and check out his candles today.
I'm Jane Stahl, retired English teacher, and with my BFF, Susan Bebeck, we manage Studio B Fine Art Gallery in Boyertown, Pennsylvania. We showcase the art of hundreds of local artists, publish books of the poetry, prose, and art of local writers, offer classes, art parties, workshops, discussion groups, cater dinners. We've even hosted a wedding. And we're here to be the go-to place for friendship, learning, and fun in our community. Virtual tours of our exhibits are available right here on Yergz Radio. Let us introduce you to some amazing art and artists.
Check out Jane Stahl and everyone at Studio B in Boyertown, Pennsylvania. Please visit our YouTube channel, Talk TV 24. How's your website doing?
I'll tell you how mine's doing. It's awesome. Yergs.com is got to be the best website for anybody in podcasting or any sort of broadcast solo journalist like me. How did I get that? Limit Break Digital. Limit Break Digital did my website with Yergs.com. They did YergerGroup.com. They take care of my marketing, my branding, and help me get the message out to you. Go to limitbreakdigital.com/Yergs for 10% off your next project. That's a $3,000 site, Yergs.com. And you can get 10% off that by just going to limitbreakdigital.com/Yergs today. Talk to Jay. That's my guy. We all got a guy, and Jay's mine. limitbreakdigital.com. Hey gang, it's Yergs. Right now, our country is about to embark on yet another controversial presidential election. I have an actual question, legitimate question, as a political scientist and historian by education. If you are a Trump supporter, I want to hear from you. I want to know what your appeal to Donald Trump is at this time. Please email me news, N-E-W-Z, at yergs.com. News, N-E-W-Z, at YERGZ.com. Thanks. Participants must be willing to provide their contact information, answer a series of questions, and then have their first name broadcast over the radio and social media.
There we go. Sorry about that. Hey, gang. All right. So I got pizza. I hit the bathroom. I got a water because I can't drink coffee with pizza at the same time. And let's bring the guys back out, see if they've got their pizzas yet. I can't eat. I can't start eating if they don't have it. Let's say, Blake, you get a delivery yet?
Not yet, I don't think. Or doorbell hasn't rang at least.
Matt, what about you?
Not yet. I'm
Still
watching.
nothing.
My cameras are fixed on the door.
By all means, don't let your pizza get cold, but also don't eat it when it's so hot it burns the roof of your mouth. Because
Yes,
fine line. I do that every
Where's
time.
Phil?
I can't wait.
Hold on.
I think he's to lunch. Or no, he's here. He's still here.
I'm still here, guys.
I want to continue this conversation really quick. We're talking about the assassination. We're talking about Ken's comments. I thought it was really good. Blake had to chime in, so I had to look it up. We're talking about this. Blake, 6%. There's only 6%. It is 6%. 6% of almost $500 billion of revenue.
Hold on, stop, Blake.
6% of almost $500 billion of revenue, Blake. So we're
talking
$50 billion.
Blake, go check. It says yours is delivered.
Okay, I'll check. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I want to make sure.
Good, get him out of here. I had things to say. Anyway, I still think that we cannot talk about this without and talk about people and just say, oh well, they're without understanding like the healthcare system and what people do have to deal with when it comes to insurance companies. And United Health Group, from what I see, it has not only are very, very profitable, they are the biggest in denier of claims. And this is something that people have to deal with. They look, my partner is a doctor. She deals with it all the time. She has to prescribe medicine. She wants to prescribe care and surgeries or even ultrasounds, and they get denied where she has to come back and talk to the insurance companies and get there and reason with them to say, hey, this is why you have to cover this is because we have to do this MRI, this CT, this ultrasound for these. It happens all the time. Half of her day is not seeing patients. It is talking to insurance companies and reasoning with them to say why she needs to prescribe medications, why she needs to do these ultrasounds and so on and so forth, and why are you not covering it? So I think that this is something that we cannot just ignore and say, oh, yeah, this is bad. And we can say murder is bad, Phil. We all agree murder is bad. This is not what we're saying. At the same time, we can also say that the frustration of people when it comes to insurance companies and not even just these insurance companies, not even just the healthcare industry, but I asked the people down in where you're from, Yergs, Florida. Talk about Georgia. Talk about North Carolina. Talk about Hawaii when their houses burn down, when their houses are flooded, and they're saying, they're like, hey, can I get my house back? And they're like, and they're like, hey, then why the hell are we paying you then? Or even the best is if you're in an area where your whole net worth, your wealth is tied up into a property, your real estate, your house, and then they won't insure you because of the location of it. Now, these are the things that insurance companies do. So we have to acknowledge this.
Hey, I'm all for changing these things, but 6% profit margin is not crazy. The health industry is a giant tangled knot.
On $450 billion, Blake.
It's only one part.
Blake, why do you like 6% so much? Why is that so bad? If you're making $50 billion off of, like, come on, man.
I'm saying 6% profit margin is very small compared to all other companies.
United, the market cap of United Health Group is more than $500 billion.
Yeah, but
by the way, here's Blake saying it's only 6%. So they have to make sure that they deny claims and drop people from insurance because they're only making 6%.
I'm not
Blake,
saying that.
Wrong side of the argument, bro.
No. But listen, here's what I'm saying. Insurance is one part of the problem. So is medical cost. So is all sorts of other things. And we like medical stuff specifically. When it comes to the home stuff, I actually think insurance companies should stop allowing people to insure their homes that are on the coast, for example. We've rebuilt some of these homes 4 or 5 times, and they're in an area where they continually get destroyed.
This is the first time for me,
Blake.
This is the
Just don't
first
pay for
time
it.
for me. I'm wanting to build up so they don't have to redo my house again, and I'm still getting stonewalled.
I'm not saying insurance doesn't have problems. I get as frustrated as insurance companies do. I'm saying it's way more. We can't just say insurance companies have to insure everyone, no matter what.
Yes.
They would go out of business.
Yes, that's what a premium's for. If you are a high risk or a high risk area, you make a premium. That's what the premium's for. But if you are paying your premium, then pay out if you're an insurance company.
Right, but that's the problem is that in Texas, insurance went up 20% last year.
And
for home
okay.
stuff specifically. And then people complain about that. So they complain about high premiums. They also complain if, so my point is they have to make a profit. That's their job. 6% profit is not crazy, guys. It's like, it's at the low end of
the only country in the world where healthcare is a for-profit industry.
And it's absolutely absurd. By the way, plot twist.
We're also the only country that develops medical technology. So there's that.
Blake is also a incognito CEO of an insurance company, everyone. I don't know if you know that.
Oh,
Blake,
I wish.
The insurance company CEO, conservative.
No, I mean, look, I get frustrated with insurance too. I'm just saying the nature of the way we decided to do healthcare in like the 50s is very hard to untangle. And if we want to untangle that, that's fine. But people complain about that all the time. They're like, well, we're the only people that don't have universal health care. I'm like, we're also the only people that develop heart surgeries that save people's life. No one else does that in the world.
There is 2 people here with MBAs and one from Harvard. I want to hear about what he has to say about this insurance company and their business practices.
I'm going to mute while I eat pizza.
Good.
There you go.
Yep.
So what's the problem?
Yeah, hold on, Matt. You should probably put your phone on and listen that way, and go check your door and make sure you're not missing a piece.
My camera's on, dude. I can see my front door.
Yeah, can we say why do people not ring the doorbell anymore? Like, why is that a thing? Ring the doorbell.
Can we listen to? Can we please listen to Phil?
Go back to Phil.
So I'm listening, and I'm trying to understand your angle on this one, Matt. So is the issue the fact that the insurance company is making a nice profit off of serving people, or the way that they go about their business is not a good way because there's people that are not happy with the way they're serving them?
I don't really care about the profit or the money that they make. I think businesses make money. Profit is profit, whatever.
Okay, CEOs so put the money aside.
Put the money and put the CEO pays aside. I'm talking about the frustration that people feel when it comes to healthcare in insurance companies within the country. Mm-hmm. And if we are not acknowledging the reaction of people and just saying like, well, I can't believe they're, feeling this way about this, horrible thing that happened. And that we can all admit murder is bad. We all agree on that. Then I think that we are not taking the other piece of the puzzle here and acknowledging that there are people that are fed up with the insurance company, the high insurance prices, the lack of care, the frustrations by doctors, the denial of claims, the denial of insurance, the dropping from care, all of these different things. And if we don't understand, we're not taking that into consideration as a motivation of the people online going in the comments, we be like, yeah, good. Then I think that we're not seeing the whole picture. And I think that's a disservice to the conversation.
So I think you hit on a lot of things I agree with you on, Matt. Like, I think that there's a number of things that the insurance industry and insurance companies can do better, right? Like, that's the whole essence of having a business. You provide a product or service, you get feedback from people. If they like it, you keep doing what you're doing. If they don't like it, figure out how you can improve. Now, when you get to the point where you say, I don't care what you think because I'm making so much money off of you, and you have no other option but to work with me, therefore I'm not going to change what I'm doing, you're just going to have to stick with it. There's where I say, yeah, there's an issue there.
We're going to ACA here. I see it coming to ACA.
But hold on, there's no one that doesn't have competition.
I'm a huge fan of competition.
Right, but my point is, there's no one that only has one choice. There's no one that only has one choice.
Okay.
Price fixing is not competition.
Who's price fixing?
The whole industry.
Okay, so I'm trying to get this back focus. No. Focus. Matt and I just took price, margin, profit off the table, and he's focused on the fact that people that sign up for these insurance plans and companies are not getting what they're hoping to get. And that builds frustration to the point that with something as unfortunate as what has happened, somebody losing his life, that incident prompted enough people to say the type of comments that they're saying that may not be personal towards the person who just lost his life, but might be seen as a opening to share with people. Look, I am frustrated. Maybe you will listen to me during this time now because you didn't listen to me before.
This is Phil GPT here. Like, he literally summarized it better than ChatGPT. Good job, sir. Continue.
Yeah, but that's what bothers me is that it's a mob justice mentality. It's like, I don't like you for a thing because I'm frustrated with your company. Like, I get frustrated with I get mad at insurance all the time. I had to deal with them just being idiots with my son's surgery for forever. Yeah, and it was also the hospital. It was also all sorts of people. It's frustrating. I don't want to deal with it. I would never cheer for someone to get murdered for it. And that's what I'm saying is wrong with America now. We
100%.
are cheering on mob justice as long as it's against someone we have a problem with. So Trump's people are okay with going after Joe Biden and going after Liz Cheney because they're their political enemies. Just like the people are okay for the CEO getting murdered because they're their, I don't know, like capitalist enemy or something. And that's my problem.
To your point, Blake, I think one of the things to think about is, one, did him losing his life change your insurance situation?
No, it did not.
Then why are we cheering about
it? I'll tell you, it did for some people. The people who now have to get anesthesia, who are older than the age of 25 or whatever the cutoff is.
So that was related to a man's death.
When that decision is called back the very next day, hell yeah, it's related to his death.
It was not related to it. I don't think so. I mean, maybe. But again, that's wrong.
But to your point too, Blake, I also remember Butler, right? There were people that said, even on Twitter, like, man.
Yeah. And I called that out too. Yeah, I called that out too.
I'm pissed that he missed, basically.
It's wrong.
I agree. And it's wrong.
Right.
Yeah, to Matt's point, though, is how do we address the growing frustration of, because it can get certain people to a point that they may want to take matters into their own hands, even if it doesn't address their problem. It just makes them feel good because they exercise their frustration, even to the point of making somebody lose their life.
And the more we
don't want to get to that point.
The more we'll see it, though. That's my problem, is that the more we excuse it.
NYPD's not excusing it. They've already got a manhunt for a guy that doesn't look at
NYPD is excusing it. But some people are. And there's this huge, especially on the left, there is a humongous like anti-CEO, anti-company, like anti-capitalist kind of. It's not the majority of the left. It's not all Democrats, but I mean, there is
far left.
Right, but the far left is the far left. The progressive left is controlling the Democratic.
No. The far.
Oh, are we in the watching Wokies segment now? Because
It's
We
clearly.
can go there.
I think it's pretty clear.
So, all
Progress-
right. So, speaking of watching Wokies, I only have very preliminary info on this. Matt, you alluded to it, and so you might even have more. But in the process of this whole assassination thing, United Healthcare was also hacked. They lose hundreds of thousands or even millions. I don't know what the number is. I got to look into all this. This was just something I heard in a part of one of these conversations about the assassination that, like I said, I didn't get a chance to fact check yet. But they were hacked. The company that's coming in to do the repairs on the security system of their network just received a rather large investment by none other than Nancy Pelosi. That's the number I heard. Yeah, Matt just put in our private chat 100 million people.
Yeah, that was a big thing. It was only like three months ago or so.
So Nancy
Well,
Pelosi
and add on
buys
the
stock.
telecom stuff that's every American.
Nancy Pelosi buys stock in a security company who, right before the CEO of their new client gets whacked, they get hired to come in and fix the breaches, and of course, their stock skyrockets. It's and you know, maybe that decision of Blue Cross Blue Shield reversing their decision Thursday, the day after another CEO gets whacked on Wednesday, is just coincidence.
Yeah,
And
I think
maybe,
you're connecting a lot of threads that aren't necessarily.
Well, then if that's coincidence, then so is Nancy Pelosi buying stock in a security company that's going to fix all the electronic parts of this week's mess.
In all fairness to Nancy here, she has $271 million of net worth. She probably owns a little bit of everything. I'm surprised she doesn't own a little bit of massive media.
Yeah, look, I don't like that Congress trades and stuff. I mean, but it's not illegal. I think it's unethical, but it's not illegal yet. And I don't think Congress would ever make it illegal. I don't know if they even could. Potentially, I think it'd be pretty hard to say you can't invest in anything ever. I think, I don't know, but they could try to make a law. I think it could get fought. I mean, I don't like it. I think it's unethical.
Blake,
I wouldn't do it myself.
How are we not agreeing today? What is wrong with you? Have you just took the I don't like change like pill before you came on the show today?
No, but I'm asking how do you practically solve that? Like, how do you practically
put on your kids' underwear? Is that how tight it is? What is going on, man?
But I'm saying you're finding solution. You're finding problems, but without solutions. And if you can't find a solution to problems, so what is the solution?
You have to address the problem, and I think that's what we're doing here. Is we're addressing the problem. I don't think that the solutions come from committee and a long time of discussion, coordination, and collaboration. But what we are trying to do is find the problem, which is actually just as hard as finding the solution. As Phil and I just went back and forth for about 20 minutes of trying to figure out why people are upset at the insurance companies and rejoicing off of a murder on broad daylight in New York City. That is a whole thing as well. And I think yours is not being wrong here, even though I don't agree with him. By trying to make connections of what frustrations of the people with, hey, Nancy Pelosi is $271 million worth. And what is going on? And why is there these connections between her and the insurance companies and security companies that seem to have some sort of a connection that doesn't seem savory in lawmakers?
All of that
is legitimate, sir.
Yeah, all of that is totally legitimate. And I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying I think it's really hard to say Congress people can't trade stocks. That's all I'm saying is like, it's not illegal yet. I think it's unethical for sure. And I think it should be investigated if there's any kind of, but the problem is it's not illegal right now for Congress people who have insider knowledge to trade on stocks based on their knowledge. Maybe it should be. I think it would be hard to enforce because I just think it would be very hard to enforce. But yeah, I get why people are upset at people. I get why people are upset at elite people. But my problem is that instead of trying to fix the problem or go about it a way democratically or any other kind of way, they're cheering on mob justice and they're cheering on Biden is going after Trump, they're cheering for it. If you're on Trump's side and he goes after whoever, they're cheering it on. And that's what bothers me.
I understand why that bothers you. And to be honest with you, it bothers me too. At the same time, I also want to acknowledge, and I know this is getting old of me saying at the same time, I know it's getting annoying. It's annoying me too. That Congress has a 12% approval rating. We were dealt two hands when it came to Trump and Kamala Harris. Trump was somebody that should have been running for office, and then we got forced Kamala Harris. And are you reading the comment of how he's calling him out? Yeah. I was going to get to that in a minute.
Back. I'm saying I'm being consistent. I don't understand how I'm doubling back, but whatever.
Anyway, what we're saying here is that
we've been saying that.
Yes, thank you, Ken. We've been saying that for about a year now. But
how am I ever changing my mind? What am I changing on? I'm saying the same thing.
Hey, Ken, you are welcome to come on the show next week and talk to Blake and explain to him what's going on. We welcome you here. Just go to Jurgs. What is your phone number? Call in. Actually, you can call in at 1-800 what? 1-888.
Uh-oh.
Explain how I doubled back.
There it is. 8888 Jurgs. 888 Jurgs. 8888 YERGZ.
1-888 Jurgs.
That's better. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, it's his show. He should know his own phone number. He should have said it in the first place. What is he?
I tried to say it in the first place. For the past year, I tried to say a bunch of things that you guys talk over me. That's why your volumes are lower than mine. You didn't know that, did you?
This is why you need a producer. You're unfair and biased, sir.
Yeah.
Anyway, what was I saying? What were you even saying before Blake started doubling back again?
This week it's Blake's turn.
Blake's pizza isn't the only thing that's hot today.
Apparently. I'm just saying, like, talking about problems without talking about what the solution is. I get that we have to define the problem. You're right, Matt. Like, I think we need to investigate stuff. I'm all for looking into corruption. I'm all for looking into insider trading. I'm all for, like, you know, the universal healthcare thing. The thing he was being investigated for was they built an AI that was denying claims, and they knew it had a 90% fail rate. They knew it was not working well, and that they continued to have it implemented. Yeah, I think that's crazy for a company to have something that's got a 90% fail rate.
Wait, no. I think what was wrong with it was that it was automatically denying claims.
Right, but I don't think that was the problem. The problem was that they knew it was incorrectly denying claims 90% of the time and kept it implemented. It's not they could have it automated. There's nothing illegal about having something automated.
No. I'm not saying that was the problem. I'm saying the problem was kind of what you're saying.
Yeah.
That they were denying claims incorrectly.
Yes. Right.
But that the AI was set up to do that.
Well, I don't think it was set up. It was that it was failing. They knew it was failing, and they continued to do it, which meant they were okay with it doing that. And I agree, that's unethical, and that's unethical for sure. That's wrong on United Healthcare. Absolutely. I'm not defending United Healthcare in any of this stuff. I'm just saying the proper path for that is to go through the Justice Department or whoever, or investigate it, or the whatever agency regulates that. I don't know. I mean, is that Health and Human Services? I don't know. But the point is, that's the proper avenue. The proper avenue is not cheering on an assassination, just like the proper avenue for Trump is not to go after Liz Cheney with a military tribunal, as he's retweeted and supported before, or whatever. Pick it. Like, we've got to use our institutions that we've decided democratically we're going to use. And we can't go outside of that. And I think that's the same for Joe Biden. I think that's the same for this guy that assassinated. I mean, we don't know what the motivation is here. We don't. I mean, it could just be, we have no idea. I mean, it really could be absolutely anything. It does seem like it's probably to do with the fact that he was the CEO of United Healthcare. You know, all roads point to that, but we don't know that yet. And if it is that way, I'm just saying that is wrong. And that's why I think I'm very worried about the country, because we are constantly excusing it on our side, and we're okay with our political enemies or our corporate enemies or whoever taking care of those problems outside the law. And that bothers me. I just think across the board.
Let's go back to something else we've been
bothered
talking
all
about
day, Blake. Bothered.
And
I am.
We got a little over a half hour left, so I'm going to get to.
Wait, were we going to talk some woke stuff?
Well, I mean, I think
Phil got really happy when we were going to talk about woke stuff. So
I just like saying wokey because it makes me think of the Ewoks from Star Wars.
Is that all Democrats are to you, Phil? Wokies?
I hope not. Otherwise, y'all not going to be around for long.
Can I say that I'm burnt out on the term woke?
I hope not.
I'm burnout on woke, but yeah, we can continue. That's fine.
But Blake, now what you're saying is happening on both sides with mob justice and everything you've been talking about.
Yeah.
Will you finally now admit we are at a modern day version of civil war?
No, I still don't think it's that.
I was
far.
with you all the way until.
I think we're definitely post-liberalism. I mean, I think that it's pretty clear that people did
You
not
doing all right
care.
there? Did Matt just deflate? What happened to him?
Yeah, he looked like one of those like car the wavy things outside the car dealership that just like turn the fan off and they just kind of die. No, I don't think we're civil war.
You lost them.
I don't think we're civil war yet, but I certainly think we're post-liberal. I think that now that Democrats are going, well, Trump's doing a liberal stuff, we should too.
Matt, did you get your pizza yet?
No, I did not.
It's saying that
is the ring working? Are you able to see it?
You guys keep going. I'm going to mute this, and I'm going to call them.
Yeah, I mean, just nobody showed up yet.
Okay.
Some of them might have taken the pizza, maybe.
I mean, you don't have a house. They would have to run up my driveway.
Intercepted it.
Yeah, you don't have like a gate code or anything like that. It then come right to your house.
No. I just live in a proper neighborhood.
You have a doorman?
Not no yuppie exclusive.
Whatever.
I don't have a doorman.
He's actually he's the CEO of Blue Cross in Ohio, and he's really in a mansion. Matt's the one.
Now we know why he has the background the way it is. We don't want to.
Yeah, that's why he's always hiding his background. It's really like an elaborate, solid gold toilet behind them or something. Yeah. So what? Yeah. What was there a woke thing?
I'm doing this in the bathroom.
That's what I'm doing. That Jurgs was going to bring up. I didn't know. I don't think I had that topic.
He might be doing it from a massive trading room right now, and he doesn't want to show like which plays he's about to do right after the show with Pelosi. Okay. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
That is possible. I got Nancy over here. I got Crenshaw over here.
Your pie is 5 minutes out, sir.
Hell yeah, thank you, sir. Oh yeah, I don't know, and I'm gonna try to eat that and then have a Celsius and then go to the gym and then be a fatty fat boy with my. See, I'm trying to mute my or censor myself. You see the fatty fat boy I had nothing else to say besides the profanity that was gonna come.
Hey, you're doing better. You're doing better. I slipped up last week, so to be fair,
you did. You don't know. Yours had to pay $500 for that, though. He didn't tell you.
He did not.
Yeah, man. You should feel bad.
Yeah, no,
guys. What are we talking about? I thought we were talking about Wookie people.
I'm waiting for the direction from Ross right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Listening to a bunch of the networks that we're still on and making sure we sound good. So back to Matt, did you actually have something on Nancy? Because like I said, I just heard that in one of the chat rooms that I was on earlier this week with regards to the assassination.
You mean you're talking about in terms of her portfolio, or you're talking about in terms of her
it's a recent investment, allegedly, and I don't know this for sure.
I think it was Unusual Whales.
In the security company that is fixing the situation at United Health Group.
I think Unusual Whales have posted that. Let me take a look. I will have to find that. I'll get back to it in a minute.
All right.
I'm not as good as young Jamie.
So, Hegseth versus Patel. Who's the next one to go?
Why has to be between those two?
All right. Is somebody else gonna get crossed off the list first?
I think the two that don't. I don't think Hegseth makes it. I think that's just too many things, and I think the fact that he didn't tell the Trump administration, like he didn't tell Trump or anyone about these things. He didn't tell them about the settlement. I think that probably pisses them off because, they're like, we could have avoided this, Yeah. And there's some things saying Ron DeSantis. I would be pretty surprised if Ron DeSantis in his administration, just because I think he's really still pretty pissed at him. And he's,
there's skeletons there too. He's done a lot of shady things here in Florida.
He'd get through the Senate like that, Jurgs. He'd get through the Senate. He'd get through the Senate like that. Ron DeSantis would have zero problems getting through.
Yeah, I'm not saying he would not get confirmed.
Right, but I'm saying who's going to.
He's another poor choice.
Well, no, I mean, if we're talking poor choices, we can talk about that. I'm saying who's not going to get confirmed is a different story. I mean, I think a lot of them are poor choices.
Let's stay focused, guys.
Yeah. No, I don't think Hegseth is going to make it because I think it's just too many things, and they're not the drunken stuff and the fact that he ran two charities sort of into the ground, and like I don't think he has the management. And here's the thing: for the most part, I'm like, give the president the cabinet they want, right? Because I think that they get elected, give them who they want, unless someone disqualifies themselves. I think Tulsi Gabbard will probably disqualify herself because I think she can't get the security clearance she needs to run the intelligence stuff.
There we go.
Pizza.
There we go. Matt's got his pizza, but I think Hegseth won't make it because I just think there's too much crap. And they do they really want to deal with it for him when there's all sorts of other people that could run the Defense Department? That's why I think it won't happen. I don't even know if it'll get to the Senate.
I have a theory.
Yeah.
I think whether it's Hegseth, Gates, any of these people, to Ross's point, he might agree with me on this one. I agree with Blake that, listen, if you want an election, you deserve the right to propose your cabinet however way you want to. Now, whether or not it gets confirmed post hearings, that's a whole nother story. But you can propose whoever you want to. You can propose Mr. Rogers if you want to, right?
That'd be a great pick, by the way, if he were.
I would think so, especially for Secretary of Education. But anyways, however, though, I also think that with these first slate of candidates Trump has proposed, I could see like the message being like, hey, for the people that were supporting me, that were loyal to me, I'm going to give you your shot. I can't, once the name is out there, I have no bearing on what happens. But I'm also going to have my second choice. That Gates is a perfect one, right? I'm going to have a second one in case this one doesn't go through. And the second choice, oftentimes, it may be one that is more widely accepted. Probably from both sides of the aisle to a certain degree, but I'm at least going to give you your shot, your 15 minutes of fame until the hearing. So at least, hey, let them go to the hearing, let it be televised. Let their answers either sink or swim at that point. He deserves it. He won the election.
DC has a saying: 3 people can keep a secret if 2 of them are dead.
That's the truest thing ever.
If you name a second nominee, even on the down low, even just within your administration, we see how many people in the Trump administration have kept secrets.
Yeah, the Ron DeSantis thing leaked from his people.
Whistleblowers.
The DeSantis leak, I would be concerned if I was in the Hegseth camp for sure. The moment you start thinking about second people and you start having that air out, that almost,
and someone's leaking it.
That and almost kind of puts a puncture to the tire for sure.
They don't want Hegseth, right? Or at least they think he might fail. So you're right. I think it's a vote of no confidence from someone in Trump's team. Now, it could be someone that just likes Ron DeSantis more than Pete Hegseth. There's a lot of all these people are selfish, really, in the end. I mean, they're all looking out for themselves more than anyone else, I think, in most of these cases. So you never know where the leaks are coming from. But I would find it hard to believe. I don't think that Hegseth wouldn't get confirmed necessarily. I just don't think he's going to make it to the confirmation potentially. That would be, if I had to make a prediction, I just think that it would be foolish for the Trump administration to waste the first 3 months fighting these things in Congress when they could just pick someone that would get through and then move on. I just think it's a silly fight to have.
Trump is not weighing in on it. He's not pressuring the senators or anything. So I think that he's just letting it play out. I think Phil is 100% right. He probably has his first pick, his second pick, and he's just saying if you can make it through, you can make it through. But if you can't, sorry, bro. And I think that's what's happening with Pete. Yeah. He's just not going to make it through.
It's like at least I did my part.
I do think, yeah. How can you hate me if I put you up there? But I'm sorry you didn't tell me all this stuff. I'm sorry that you doing a little nippy during the day on Fox News. I'm sorry. That's not my.
But there were better jobs.
I need to circle back on one thing. You all seem to be, all 3 of you, seem to be pro pro. Yeah, let's set this up. There we go.
There we go.
You all seem to be in a bunch where you are pro as long as we are not putting in a child molester or alleged child trafficker for attorney general like Matt Gaetz. As long as we can get them confirmed, maybe they're not perfect, but it's the one that the president wants. You're for getting that person confirmed, yes or no?
Matt,
Philip,
we believe in our institutions, right? Democracy, right?
Yeah.
This is part of the process. We don't
100%.
single-handedly like take somebody in the back room and say, "Hey, sorry, you're not going to run this election. We're going to put somebody else."
Well,
in.
that's
whether you like it or not.
Well, it's the way
No.
I would
say
the way I'm
We're
looking
going to
at
let it play out.
the way I'm looking at it, Phil.
Stop.
Yes.
We're going to go down the line here. Yes or no? If the nominee is at least acceptable and it's the president-elect's choice, then you feel the Senate should confirm that person. Yes or no, Philip?
I feel the Senate deserves to do a hearing process like with any other candidate.
Yeah, the full thing.
Whoever the nomination is, go through the process.
Yeah. Through the whole constitutional process, if they have to be a confirmed appointee or not.
Yes.
Then as long as they're not a Matt Gaetz over the Justice Department.
It doesn't matter who it is. If you nominate somebody, I'm sure everyone's going to have dirt because all of us are imperfect. Right. So whoever you nominate, there's going to be some dirt on that person. If you nominate that person, let them do the hearing, let people question, cross-examine, and then vote. You're just trying to preempt it to see if you have enough votes to get that person in. And some people are saying, "Hey, I don't have the votes. Do we want to go through this process?" Yes, so remember, or no, this is a yes or let's go through the process.
This is a yes or no question. You're saying yes. They go through the process, and your scrutiny at the Senate confirmation level should not be down to the actual assignment that they've ever had as to whether or not they're really appropriate for the job. Yes or no?
There's a lot of slant in this question.
That's a hard one to say yes or no to.
Are you in favor?
Your Honor, can the defense rephrase the question?
The president or his choice or not? Are you in favor of giving the president his favored choice or not?
I'm in favor of giving the president his choice to go for a hearing, whatever his choice is. Let him go through the process.
No, wait, I think I have a good clarifying way of saying it. I would never say we shouldn't give them the president if they're unqualified. So, for example, like I don't think Pete Hegseth has the qualifications to run because he's never ran a big organization like that. So he's unqualified for the job.
And what he has run.
So here's what we should do off of that. If we're going to do that, Blake,
qualified.
Here's what we should do though, because that opens up a can of worms. How do you define who's qualified or not? And let's get on the same page for each of these posts. So, what are qualifications?
That's what I'm saying.
You have to run an institution the size of the DOD to be.
No, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I would not use unqualified.
There's a first time for everything, and that's fine. Yes. But even
and people will surprise you.
For the point of Hegseth, what organizations, quote unquote, he did run, he ran into the ground and took himself with it.
Right, but that's not why I would say unqualified is not a reason I wouldn't give the president his pick, but disqualified would be. So to me, Tulsi Gabbard might disqualify herself because she's maybe too close to Russian propaganda and intelligence on that side. So she would disqualify herself from being an intelligence officer of some way.
Agree. Okay, so I agree with Blake and Blake's phrasing here. And because what he's saying is there's a disqualification. I personally think the president should have his cabinet because if you're going to be leading an organization, which is going to be the executive branch of the United States of America, then you need to have your people there to do the things that you need to do. This is why the American people voted for you. There are disqualifiers. Again, I think that, again, we could name them off. We get it. And some of those are disqualifiers, and that's why they go in front of the American people, which is the United States Senate, and flushes that out.
I would trust the Senate to do its job, ask the questions, and make it apparent whether somebody is fit for the job or not.
And were I a senator with Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Hegseth, kind of this whole slate of people that are clearly like womanizers, my concern would be blackmail and potential like honeypot situations with other intelligence services. Like those could be disqualifying to me, but they really don't have anything to do with like, do I think Robert F. Kennedy Jr. can actually run Health and Human Services, that's not the reason I would say no. I would just say no because, like, dude, he had 31 affairs in 1 year in his diary. Like, that concerns me that that's 31 different black males. That's like 30. That's where I go.
Overall, if they are
just point real quick. Point of clarification, right? Blake saying, just for our audio listeners, right? Black male, as in black male, BLACKMAIL, not having affairs with 31 black males.
Yeah, no, not that. Yeah, sorry. I don't want a situation.
I'm just trying to clarify for you, Ross. I'm trying to help you.
Yes, this is not Jurgs' Pornhub.
I'm fine with that because we all know there are probably not 31 black males in the MAGA movement.
I'm only one.
Oh, there are now. Maybe. I mean, he certainly increased with black men in 2024.
So, point of the question being this: about 3 months ago, we had this discussion about a primary, and you said,
"Who's you?"
When you elect a president, you don't elect the people that come with him. Now we're talking about getting a cabinet in, and now all of a sudden you're for it.
Wait, who, me or Philip or who?
Both of you.
I was asking, who's you?
Who did I say I doesn't get to come with it?
You said when we talked about when I supported Kamala Harris,
that is true,
being the nominee.
Yeah.
You said that's not okay because, and I said, hey, when you elect the president, you elect the vice president that he or she is running with, and you elect all the people that they're going to fill the cabinet with. And you said that's not the case.
Well, yeah, because I don't.
Now, Ken is jumping up and down going like this because Blake flipped again.
I've always said that the president should get the cabinet they want, but I'm saying, but the people aren't voting for that cabinet necessarily. Like I said, the Senate does their job unequivocally. I just want to make sure that, like, I do not want Trump's little scheme of trying to do it on a recess appointment. That's not okay. But
it's not what I'm saying.
Ken's referring to the black man comment, by the way, black male comment.
Was that what it was?
Yeah, it wasn't this. It was the black male comment.
I didn't even. I mean, it's one of those things where, sometimes you can say things, and if you're like not, that I can absolutely see how that came out right. Yeah, but I mean, I guess I was saying that people aren't voting for they really are just voting for those two things. Those are the only things that people are voting for.
So then why are you not asking the Senate to give more scrutiny to the actual qualifications of the candidate?
I guess because, again, I'd like the president to, if they want to hang themselves with bad nominees, I think that, let them do it. I do think the Senate right now is actually protecting Trump by doing that. I think that actually it helps Trump to not give him his worst nominees. I actually think that it's not that they're against him. I think they're actually potentially helping him by kicking Gates out of the possibility. But yeah, no, I mean, the Senate should do their job, but I just think that as long as they're not disqualified, give them who they want. If it's a terrible choice, now it worries me with DOD a little bit more than the other ones because we are either in or are at the precipice of a World War III or some sort of thing. And the DOD is a little more if the Department of Justice is ran by someone bad, what's the absolute worst case scenario happens? Nothing happens at DOJ. That wouldn't be great, but it wouldn't be that Russia blows us up. If the Department of Defense can't run and we're not doing the things we need to have at the Defense Department, that position specifically is a little bit more concerning for me than the other ones. But I don't care if Trump wants to put Robert F. Kennedy Jr. at Health and Human Services and it crashes and burns. Fine. I just think, and also I also think we've been surprised.
What happens when another COVID comes along?
Well, I mean, you're right. I don't think that. I'm not saying things won't go bad. I think things will go bad with these picks. I mean, I think it's pretty clear that a lot of them don't have it. I also think we could be surprised by some of them.
That is why, for the record, I want the Trump administration to do well.
Hence why you're on the right.
Even though today we are celebrating my loss in the election to Blake and the bet that we had with
Well, to be
Pizza
fair, it was
Friday.
just a bet on the Senate. That's what we bet on. I just said that we'd get 52
that's what I
seats.
thought too. But
That's all I was saying.
Not to mention my 312 prediction.
I want the Trump administration to be great. I want him to be actually worthy of nominating himself for Mount Rushmore, although that will never happen. Because if I have to sit here in 4 years or sit here over the next 4 years and bring Matt back over to the left and constantly say, I told you so, it's going to be bad.
Hey, Phil, can you
I think we're all going to get
mail me
chances
a
to stay
MAGA hat, please?
You know what? The funny thing is, I don't even have a MAGA hat. I want one, but my wife won't let me go out in public with it.
Well, that's funny. I have a story about that, by the way.
You listen to your wife.
Somebody in your
I
family.
want one, but she said no, you can't wear it outside.
Is she not MAGA?
No. You
have a mixed marriage.
She is an independent.
They do actually. She's brown, he's black, and she's
an independent, and she's a Puerto Rican too. So fill in
right.
the
You're a rarity.
Puerto Rican comments as well if you like.
And there's only like a.
Does she have the Puerto Rican flag on her underwear too, and bathing suits?
You know,
where's that from?
I've not become aware of that, but I'll check next time. Okay.
We're giving you reasons for some afternoon delights. Hey, baby, I gotta check about your Puerto Rican flag, girl.
They're going on their lunch date. Is this a weekly thing? Friday lunch date?
That's what we do. Subway.
Smart. I like it.
So
it's like, not that I want to talk about the guy, but
this dude ain't even doing Jersey Mike's. He's taking her to Subway. Stop.
Even though I've never been to Jersey Mike's. I actually am intrigued to try it out because one, they did mail us a menu out of nowhere. And then two, the recent news of selling Jersey Mike's for, I believe, $8 billion. As a business guy, I'm at least a little interested to say, hey,
who they sell it
is
to?
the subs that big? They're that good?
Bigger company. I can't remember who.
I think it's like a private equity company. I don't know.
Oh, man, they're going to ruin it.
Okay, hold on. I have to get your opinion because you're from Pennsylvania.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think is the best? Like, I think Jersey Mike's has the best Philly cheesesteak that's not from that area. It's like a chain.
There's one a mile. There's a place a mile away from my house. They are from, and again, I'm in Florida. There's this place, I forget what it's called, but they're a mile away from my house. Literally 1 mile, you're there,
and it's solid.
And they're Philly natives that put together that steak shop. And when they first came in, everybody here was like, "What the hell is that? What's a cheese?"
They're so good.
Yeah.
But once I had like Pat and Gino's in Philly, like it ruined Philly cheesesteaks everywhere else for me. And the closest thing I can get to it around here is Jersey Mike's.
Yeah. Pat and Gino's.
So good.
Sounds like you need a sponsor, Ross.
All right. Ken says that Jersey Mike's. Ken says that Jersey Mike's is better than the Subway. So Phil, try a Jersey Mike's today. I just want to go back. 100% better than the Subway. 100%. I'm sorry, Subway used to be good back in the 90s.
Subway's garbage, just like Taco Bell and McDonald's.
There's another one too that's really good from the big chains, and that's Firehouse.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Firehouse subs are okay.
Yeah,
we're trying to get a sponsorship by some sub company here. It's not going to be Subway now that I just trashed them, probably. But
womp. Thanks so much, Blake.
Sorry.
Yeah, maybe we could do that, Jurg. Next time we could all have our Jersey Mike subs here and need them on air.
Yeah. So
food themed Fridays. I like it.
And that would be something.
Fridays.
So wait, do we want to shout out our pizza places? Because this one's local. I want to shout out Danny Boys. Danny Boys is down the street for me.
That's exactly what we're gonna do next. Go ahead, Matt. You start it then.
Yeah. So Danny Boys, I just got a pizza from Jurg. Thank you, sir. He ordered me a pizza, came delivery. Danny Boys from down the street. There it is. That was my pizza choice. Angelo's if it wasn't too far away, and I knew they would deliver. But Angelo's is number one. Danny Boys or Antonio's is number two.
The other thing that was actually they had to be open by like 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock our time on the East Coast, so that we could also compensate for Blake being in Central Time.
Oh, that's a big one for Blake. That's right. That's right.
Because I wanted all this. I wanted all these to be on or about the same time. So I'm sorry, Matt, that yours was another half hour behind everybody.
Yeah,
But,
it was also cold. The guy was like, "Oh, I had to do another delivery," and I was like, "Isn't that what you do?"
Isn't that what you do? Like, how is another delivery an excuse? That doesn't work.
Is this a
But,
backhanded
I got the
endorsement
text
now?
message that said that I got the text message that said at like 10 after 12 that it was going to be at 12:16 and 12:28. You didn't have it yet, and I'm like, okay, I got to call this guy.
Well, it's not backhanded. It's like if they like, this is my local pizza shop, and if they do good jobs, but you gotta tell your local shops when they mess up too, right?
Yeah,
You gotta drive.
I mean,
You gotta drive.
that's supporting small business, in my opinion. If you go, hey man, pizza came cold, I'm not saying anything. I'm not gonna stop by on you, but you got to get that here, get it here hot.
Can we agree? Accountability is a good word, regardless
100%.
of party
Totally agree
affiliation.
with that. Yes,
100%.
you can do it in the wrong way, but yeah.
unless you got to suddenly pardon your son. Then it's all right.
The word of the day.
Yeah, then that's not. Yeah, no accountability coming for Hunter for sure. Mine is Red and Blues Pizza, which is also just a little.
Hold on a second. You can get Matt at dailycryptonews.net and info@deemerforcongress.com. And every day you can get the Daily Crypto News wherever you get your podcasts. Blake?
It is the number 25 podcast in the world right now, actually.
What?
That's awesome. Congrats, man.
We're getting a little Bitcoin pump right here. I don't know. We're like number 9 in Australia. We're like number 195 in Norway.
That's cool.
45 in the United States. So yeah,
really cool. Throw us some bones here. Say, hey, I work with these podcasts and radio shows.
Good work.
Blake, you can get him at thehomelessconservative.com.
And what's his
Blake
pizza choice?
Homelessconservative.com is where you can email him and chat with him. Blake, what's your pizza?
Well, you just picked it for me. You just found a nearby place called Red and Blues Pizza, which I have not had before, but it was good. My favorite pizza places deliver like literally half a mile from my house and won't come just a little further south to me. And I'm trying to get them to change that policy, but they have not yet. So,
and which one is that? I mean, put some pressure on
Hall's Pizza Kitchen. They're delicious. If you're in Oklahoma City, highly recommend it. But I'm just a little too south of their delivery zone.
Hey, wait, aren't you guys getting like the Burj America over there in Oklahoma City?
There's no way that's happening.
That's not happening.
They claim that's approved. It's going to be like the tallest building in America. There's no way it's happening.
Okay. I was going to say that's crazy. The Burj America.
I think it's a ploy to get the money, the funds to build the other stuff around it, and then they're gonna be like, "Never mind, we can't build the giant tower."
Phil got a proper picture and everything, and a QR code and a tie, that red bag tie.
Matt.
The QR code on his screen is a big ass Amazon.
It may or may not be a Donald J. Trump tie. Just FYI.
I used to wear his ties actually because they're rigid. And they're stiff. They don't like flop around, especially when you're the airport agent on a tarmac.
Interesting.
And then
it looks good on you, Phil. I think Donald wears them too long, but that looks good on you.
Thank you.
Phil wears the hell of a suit. Look at him, man. Everything's fitted nice, man. Yeah,
we gotta step up our game, Matt.
Let Phil look like bums. Oh, we look like bums every week.
I know, but we need at least a headshot that makes us look like not bums. Okay.
Oh, I got those. I'm gonna send it to Yergs now.
We got those. We got those ones that we took early on when we were still the lunchtime happy hour, and we all did a drink in our hand, and we took that selfie. Matt had the baseball hat down over his ears and a pint of lager or something.
No,
and
never a lager, sir. Never.
Whatever it was. And then Blake, you did the same thing. But anyway, the 2 QR codes you see on your screen right now are for our other. Our guest host today, Philip Blackett. You can buy his books at the bigger QR code in the center of your screen through Amazon. And then above at the top corner, right above his right ear, is the one for Buy Blackett. I don't know if your camera's reversed, but to the rest of the world, it's your right ear. buyblackett.com/Yergs, where you can get the same merch I'm going to be purchasing after the show today. And are there ways we can get a hold of you through those websites if anybody needs to?
I think the place I inhabit the most is Instagram. So look me up, Philip Blackett, Buy Blackett. both of those. I'm on there usually on the daily.
And what's his pizza shop?
Oh, the pizza shop. Jeez.
He elected. I'm buying stuff off his.
Oh
site.
yeah. Instead, yeah.
But if you got a favorite,
you have my sub shop recommendation that I'm going to for lunch. So
are we switching to Jersey Mike's now for today, or?
So the wife is going with me, so I don't think we should experiment with that just yet.
Not rolling the dice. I get it.
So let's go with the proven.
Yeah, always
commodity
check out the
Subway
place
first, and then when she's like a little full, and just hey, you want to just take a nibble of this Jersey Mike cheesesteak? Yay, nay, and then we'll go from there.
You know exactly how to work this. Smart man.
This is one of my other pizza monsters. This is Matrix, and Shady is down on the floor. My camera doesn't reach that far. Shady's my son's puppy that definitely is a puppy. And then, I see in the private chat at Philip with 1 L, Blackett with 2 T's, and at BUY Blackett for both Instagram. And then you can get us all at wrong one. You can get us all if we can't get anywhere that way. You can send anything to us at NEWZ at Yergz YERGZ.com. And now you know what? I was going to do that today too. One lucky winner was going to get a pizza. So it's through the other chat, Ken. Send me your address and your favorite pizza place, and I'll send you pizza today.
This was actually just a giant marketing scheme by Big Pizza to get everyone.
Yeah, so so Papa John doesn't get whacked too.
Yeah. Surprised he hasn't been named for the Trump administration yet.
Oh yeah, is he still running it, or is
he's not? But he was. That was one of his things. He was a big Trump supporter, right? But then he got forced out.
John?
Yeah.
That guy was.
Haven't heard anything from him in a while.
Actually, that's not the other favorite, so to speak. Little Caesars is the company that used to own the Detroit Red Wings. Oh. I don't think they do anymore.
Pizza.
Is that why they were so bad for so long? That's a little Avalanche fan coming at you. Spicy. Talking about the Red Wings.
He's piling on.
He's a Tampa Bay guy. It's fine. He's not going to mind me making fun of Detroit.
Now, and the Flyers aren't doing too bad either. That's my original.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. Avalanche actually are not doing great right now, but
we need to probably talk about this guy too. Matt,
I think you're about to lose your radio station, sir.
No, everything else is probably the UG.media. We'll see them.
I just sent that in the chat because that's the way. That's RFK Jr. looking at Blake while he drinks his Coca-Cola.
Cheers, RFK Jr. I'm not going to stop. I prefer the ones with real sugar, but they're hard to find. They cost more. I'm fine with this one.
Yeah. The green bottles and cans.
Yep.
No, the Mexican ones, Mexican Coke that actually has the cane sugar.
The whole can is green.
We don't have that up here, sir.
No, I haven't seen that.
We did.
Is this a Christmas thing?
So no. The whole.
What do you mean
this was a can of soda. The Coke, if it was made by sugar cane instead of high fructose corn syrup, it would be green and not
liquid? Red. That's actually not true.
No. The
can.
The can itself, Ron.
Okay. Well, no, there was a rumor way back in the day that Coke would be green if they didn't add the brown coloring, but it wasn't true.
It actually used to really have Coke.
You guys remember Pepsi Clear?
Yes, and it was good.
That was delicious.
Pepsi Zero.
It was good. It's the only Pepsi product I liked.
Pepsi Clear. No, Pepsi Clear, sir.
Like 92, right?
Hey, Phil, how old are you, Phil?
40. Just turned 40 on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you should. Happy birthday. You should know this. You absolutely should know Pepsi Clear.
We were young. I mean, I was in like first
Oh, it was
grade.
Crystal
Coke
Pepsi, that's what it's
Zero.
called.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, Crystal Pepsi. That you're right. That is what it's called. That's like one of those. What do they call that? Mandela effect.
Yeah. So I'm actually more of a DP fan myself.
I like Dr. Pepper.
And just FYI for radio audience, DP as in Dr. Pepper.
Yeah,
Right, Ross?
Not Jurgen's weekends at the
Gay guy
Fridays.
was
White
wow.
Black Tail, DP.
Right, Ross? Dr. Pepper. Say it with me.
I was going to say the gay guy was saying I got to rejoin this conversation.
Okay, the most delicious
DP is delicious, isn't it, Phil?
Yeah,
Dr. Pepper is delicious.
Yes, Dr. Pepper is
no,
great.
that was actually a different product though, Jurgs. That was like a calorie. It was like Coke Zero before.
No, this isn't it. No, it's another one. Hold on,
Stevia.
I got the wrong one.
Yeah.
Look, Ken calling out Blake again. Blake,
hold
man.
on. So Dr. Pepper, the most delicious Dr. Pepper I've ever had in my life. There's a barbecue place down in Stephenville, Texas, which is next to the Dublin Dr. Pepper plant, where they have cane sugar Dr. Pepper on the fountain at this barbecue place. And it is like so much better. I mean, like, I like Dr. Pepper. It's always my go-to when I get to somewhere and I'm like, I'll have a Coke. And they're like, is Pepsi okay? I'm like, absolutely not. Dr. Pepper, please. But this Dr. Pepper was unbelievable. I mean, the cane sugar made a bigger difference on Dr. Pepper, I felt like. And maybe it was the fountain too. They might have had it extra syrupy or something, but oh my gosh, it's called Hard Eight Barbecue down in Texas. But it's only that Stephenville one that has I think the Dublin Dr. Pepper on tap. And this was a long time ago, so I don't know if they do anymore, but it's really good barbecue even if they don't have the Dr. Pepper.
Nice.
We're on a food rush today.
Foodie Friday. I'm telling you.
Foodie Friday. I
I'm
like
hyped on carbs right now.
Yeah, now that I've had 3 slices of pizza.
So the other one is the red one that is Hecho and Mexico. And that's again because literally every other country in the world that makes Coca-Cola uses.
Hey, do you know why though?
Because
it's because of sugar subsidies in the United States. It's our silly protectionist against sugar companies.
The whole thing that brought on high fructose corn syrup was the Clinton administration.
Yeah. Well, and the corn subsidies and then the sugar subsidies, not the subsidies, but the protection of the sugar subsidies and the corn subsidies have made it where corn is so much cheaper than the sugar because we're trying to protect these, which is silly because sugar's cheaper everywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
And we pay through the nose for it here, which is why people use high fructose corn syrup, which is bad for you. Not the sugar's great for you, but it's better than high fructose corn syrup.
Yep.
Oh, I look forward to Bobby Kennedy Jr.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you got to have Congress to change those laws.
The progress we're gonna make over the next 4 years here.
Yeah, good luck getting Congress to not.
Wait, are you Phil? Are you for RFK Jr. or no?
I'm intrigued.
I'm intrigued. That doesn't make me
I'm intrigued. Let's see what happens.
Do you agree though that like FDA made more sense? I mean, like everyone's excited about his food thing specifically. That seems to be the things that intrigues people the most is the health stuff. That's not what Health and Human Services does, though. Do you think Trump even understands what Health and Human Services does?
Yeah, no, I think it's just because it's very easily consumable.
We got the Blake watch going on.
How am I doubling back?
Man, I've been saying that he said that for like 5 minutes. Yes, Blake just doubled back again.
How?
Oh gosh.
FDA makes more sense to me for the food stuff, right?
I can see that.
I don't know. Because he's also talking about pharmaceuticals.
Aren't there other things under the whole Health and Human Services umbrella?
Most of what it does is Medicare, Medicaid stuff, right? That's where the budget comes through. It's not actually who regulates that stuff.
Right. So that's what would make it interesting if it doesn't work out this way. FDA could be a nice second option.
Well, and that's why I thought the FDA would that would have made more sense to me because that's pharmaceuticals and food stuff, right? Food and Drug Administration.
But it's not as prominent. It's not as prestigious.
Well, right. But like, do you want to make the changes that you talk about or?
No, I get it.
It's like,
this proves my theory originally is like, hey, what position you want? Thank you so much for your support. Let's put you up for that one. And then let's see. Yeah. And then if it doesn't work out, then I got another place for you that probably will make more sense. The second choice may make more sense more common sense.
Yeah, I mean, and I think most of these agencies do need shaking up. I just don't necessarily trust that Trump and the people that he's picking are going to be the people to be able to successfully do so. I mean, I do think most of these bureaucracies need a good, like, they're just not working the way
they need
should.
A good doge. It sounds like.
Yep.
Well, something that actually has enforceable power, though. You know, I think that like the FBI needs to be reformed.
Okay, so
in a major way.
Real quick, here's who's under the HSS. By the way, there is the Administration for Children and Families, Administration for Community Living, Agency for Healthcare Research and Quality, Agency for Toxic Substance and Disease Registry, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, obviously the CDC, Centers for Medicare and Medicaid, Food and Drug Administration, Health Resources and Services.
The FDA is underneath HHS. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
The Indian Health Services, National Institutes of Health, Substance Abuse of Mental Health and Administration. So all of those are under HSS.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like
it's a lot.
But it seems like you need just an administrator at HHS, not a reformer. You know what I mean? And then you put the reformers in the individual bureaucracies.
Unless you're tasked
with reforming
each one of those individual.
I mean, I agree. I think there's so much overlap because, I mean, look, if you're talking about food and you're talking about pharmaceuticals and you're talking about Medicare and like all the health to food to health to insurance to sickness to obesity to, you know, all this Medicare and Medicaid, it's all related.
I'm not saying it's not related. I just think that because Health and Human Services is it's a quarter of the budget that goes to it. I think you actually need someone that can administer that. Someone that I would pick someone that had some sort of experience managing people. Someone running a company.
All of which is why I say, listen, let the process play itself out. I love for the Senate to do its jobs. Ask Bobby Kennedy Jr. the questions. Let him answer them. And then people say, hey, either it makes sense or nah, Trump, pick somebody else.
People can surprise me for sure. And I think that there were people that surprised everyone in the first Trump administration. I think that there were examples of people were very skeptical of his picks, and then they ended up being good at the job. A lot of them sometimes didn't end up being good at the job. That's fine. I think that happens in every presidential administration. There were certainly people in every president I can think of that, you know, we thought they'd be a good pick. They weren't. Maybe they had failures, or we thought someone would be bad. Like Nikki Haley was one that the Senate was really skeptical of. Democrats were skeptical of, and she was good at the UN. I think most people came back and said, you know what, she did a good job. And we thought that she didn't have the foreign policy experience, but she was good at it. And, you know, I'm happy to be surprised. It just, FDA makes more sense to me, even though, he's over FDA, but he's not going to be like in the weeds in the FDA. And it just seems like that so directly goes with his pharmaceutical and food stuff that I would think that would, like, he would have the more hands-on experience to be right there in the weeds doing that stuff instead of being like over someone else that's doing the FDA. We'll see. I don't know. All right, I got to run, guys, but it's been fun.
Me as well.
Good Friday.
Time for Subway.
All right, see y'all.
See ya.
Enjoy the weekend, everyone.
Now I'm back. You guys want to run on me?
I know. I gotta bail. I got a gajillion things to do today. I gotta go fix up the apartment I got at least
not but enjoy your pizzas, guys.
Thank you very much, Eric.
Philip, enjoy lunch, and I will be on and checking out blackett.com/Yergs.
Are we all doing this now?
And we'll be checking that out, making some purchases in a few minutes.
All right,
everybody.
See y'all.
I'll see you all on Monday. Jane Stahl is back on Monday. We'll see all these guys back next week. We'll see Philip on Wednesday. Thanks for riding with us. You've been up the middle, running with the big dogs. Ken, hang tight. Your pizza will be on the way. All right, everybody. See you. Have a great weekend.